The stakes have never been higher. The competition has never been stronger. 35 drivers, 20 rounds. One will be crowned champion. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. You're watching the premier American Open Wheel Series on iRacing. The Lionheart IndyCar Series presented by First Medical Equipment starts now.
We're all gamers, and HyperX is always ready to game. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. Geometry teachers rejoice because the ovoid is the shape of the stage for today's festivities. From Twin Ring Motegi, it's time for the Global SimRacing Channel's Round 7 coverage of the Lionheart IndyCar Series Season 8 Championship presented by First Medical Equipment. Now, with Motegi being just 130 kilometers from Japan's compromised Fukushima nuclear plant, the fear of being attacked by a gigantic lizard seems reasonable. But in this virtual universe, any such misgivings would be ridiculous, as iRacing has no plans actually to release their Godzilla feature anytime soon. But that does not mean these drivers can race worry-free. Today's metaphorical Mothra is Lionheart veteran Jason Galvin. Why? Having won here in Season 4 and 6, the Baker Philodite has an opportunity to become the first Lionhearter to win 3 times at any one track. But more recently, real-world IndyCar driver Sage Karam has been stomping through the competition with a Round 5 win at Michigan and a Round 6 win at Barber. The current point leader is poised to be only the second driver in series history to win 3 consecutive events. And who would the Natharis Innamorato share that honor with? None other than 2-time defending season champion Adam Blocker, who just for good measure is also the defending race winner here at Motegi. Now, joining Galvin, Karam, and Blocker are the usual cast of characters in the Lionheart series, which includes 2013 real-world Indianapolis 500 winner, none other than Tony Kanaan. It's time for the Global Electronic Technology 200, and all the simulated Dallara IR18 action streams your way live as it happens right here on the iRacing Esports Network. Konnichiwa and good health, and welcome to another GSRC broadcast of the Sim Experience Countdown to Green. Over the next 15 minutes, GSRC will bring you all the storylines, all the stats and facts you'll need to appreciate the Global Electronic Technology 200. Way up in the press box to bring you our Words Eye View, former IndyCar driver Richie Hearn, joined by yours truly, Bill Soups On. Sean Ambrose has director duties, with cameras provided by Dougie Beard. Now, I hope to get my 7th grade geometry teacher, Mr. Shinhoffen, to do some of his chalkboard magic to explain the ovoid that is Motegi, but sadly I've been informed that old Gunther is no longer with us. So the next best thing will be to play this pre-recorded GSRC video.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Global SimRacing Channel. I'm Brian Yazek, taking you for a spin around the Twin Ring Motegi Oval Course in the GSRC IR18 IndyCar. So without further ado, here we go. Off the front stretch, heading off into Turn 1. Twin Ring is shaped really oddly here. Turn 1 is very wide and sweeping, so you have to take a very unique approach down here into the corner. Mind the bump that's waiting for you in the middle of 1 and 2. Kind of drive it straight off of the corner and aim out towards the wall, where the alternating Honda logos will really kind of mess with your visuals a little bit. Down here to Turn 3, brake at about the 100 mark, grab 4th gear, and then pick up the throttle on the bottom as fast as you can to really build up that momentum and that speed off of Turn 4 one more time. down here in the front stretch again, eyeing up that turn one. Take a real wide entry, scrub off some speed to try to let it rotate. Watch this bump right there, and then drive it straight off of the corner. Don't drive it too hard or that wall will be waiting for you with arms wide open. Once again, down here into turn 3, find the brake, find the marker, grab 4th gear, and then pick up the gas as soon as you can. Really hug that white line on the middle to the exit and swing it right out here to the fence. We're going to come across the line, and that is going to complete our track guide here around Twin Ring Motegi. I'm Brian Yazek. Enjoy the show.
GSRC's Chef Pierre's immersion special was going to be blowfish sushi, but because of concerns about poisoning our viewers instead, let's bring Richie Hearn right in to talk about Motegi.
Yeah, and you got a little view of Motegi. Honestly, I raced here 3 times. It's one of the coolest oval tracks we've ever run with the way it's set up. Turns 1 and 2, pretty much flat out normal super speedway. But turns 3 and 4, man, you got to go almost down. You sometimes down to 3rd gear, heavy braking, right down to the bottom. It's a lot of fun. It's a great track. It's too bad, where it is and that we don't race there anymore. But it should be a good race. Really, the main thing about this track, got to get that drive off of 4. If you don't get that drive off of 4, you're not passing anybody. And that's Motegi. And let's go into why we bring this to you. Remember, the countdown to green is brought to you by the SimExperience AccuForce steering systems with the most advanced tuning features on the market. The AccuForce Direct Drive is second only to the real thing. To check out the entire SimExperience line of products, head on over to simexperience.com.
Thank you, Richie. Let's take a look at the points. We'll start with the driver's standings presented by First Medical Equipment. Sage Karam opens up his lead a little bit more. He's got 3 wins, 2 of them on road courses. And remember, he even missed a race. So when drop starts to be taken into account, that lead is going to even be larger. Michael Goodman's in good position, though. If Karam's real-world Indy gig starts to steal him away from this series, Goodman's sitting in second. Brian Carey was runner-up at Phoenix earlier this season. He had an 8th last time. That jumped him up 6 spots into 11. Richie's going to talk about this a little bit later, but there's only 2 rookies in the Sweet 16. Welcome back to the graphic, Adam Frazier in 14th. Couple newcomers making their debut. Keep an eye on Aaron Morgan and Cody Eldred. Let's look at the team championship. Really only one to talk about. They were dominant last time out. I'm talking about SKM. That has Joshua Chin, Sage Karen, and Damon Martinez. Those guys almost had twice as many points as the other teams that competed at Barber. They are now well out in front by 53. This has been one of the most competitive team races, though, we've seen in a long time. There's a 3rd championship to look at, but before we talk about that, let me remind you that the team championship is brought to you by the good guys at HyperX. Now we'll go to the rookie champions with Richie.
Yeah, Rookie of the Year standings here, brought up on your screen. These are presented by Butt Kicker, and not much to talk about, not much change in the top 4. Darren Ganji moves up 1, Sandman goes down 1, or goes up 1, Holiday goes down 2. Usually this championship tightens up as we get close to the year. We'll keep an eye on, but Joshua Chin holding very firmly with a 53-point lead over Frazier, and also Josh Chin sitting 6th in the regular standing, so he's doing a really good job.
Richie, let me ask you a question. Do you think it was an oversight by the series organizers, or were they just being kind when they didn't put Tony Kanaan down there in 9th place on the rookie standings? That'd be kind of strange, wouldn't it?
All right. He only ran that 1 race, so he's a little bit behind. But he is considered a rookie, no different than I am in the retro series. So he ran good in practice. He was fastest in practice. So I expect a good race here from him today.
Richie Hearn sitting atop the rookie standings there in the retro series. Let's go ahead and, Richie, look at the series details, if you could.
And these series details come to us thanks to Minus 273, the premier name in karting gloves. Their industry-leading gloves are super lightweight and durable, made of breathable poly spandex. Whether you're a kart or sim racer, Minus 273 gives you the control to reach victory lane. For more information on Minus 273's full line of gloves and apparel, visit minus273.biz. Don't forget to use LHRS for 25% off all orders. And here's our series details. We mentioned it's season 8 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. Round 7 of 20. Got a long ways to go still. 3 driver drops will be calculated soon into those standings. Everybody's using the Dallara IR18. The setups are fixed but have been adjusted for a little raceability. And this year, working on cash and prizes totaling $10,721.
Thank you, Richie. And remember, the best of the best in the iRacing community are featured right here on the iRacing Esports Network. And I want to talk quickly about Lionheart. Their series is powered by HyperX, and it's the premier open-wheel racing league on iRacing. It oversees 2 great series, the Lionheart Retro Series, presented by DMLC Racing Channel, and the one featured today, which is the Lionheart IndyCar Series, presented by First Medical Equipment. Both series honor the memory of the late Dan Weldon. Well, that takes care of pretty much all the business, except maybe taking a look at the weather. And since this is the land of the rising sun, I believe they decided to put this race in the morning. Oh, Richie, that looks pretty comfortable.
Yeah, no, that's perfect conditions for this track. Maybe a little bit sketchy first opening laps, but 80-degree track temp, 75 air. Medium speed wind, not too bad, but should be treating those tires pretty good. So make those grooves open up and have some good races.
Qualifying coming in right now as these drivers are putting in their best times. Richie, what kind of what kind of racing are we looking at here? Is this going to be a draft track? Is this going to be a one-line track? What are we looking at?
It's a little bit of both. And like I said, I did a practice race last couple nights ago with these guys, and like I said, it really comes down to that drive off of 4. The car picks up a pretty good understeer if you drive in too hard, so you got to use the brakes, get down to the bottom. If you can get that drive off of 4, you can pick up the draft. You got about 4 grooves in turn 1 and 2, so it's wide open. But really, it's a little bit of a driver's track and a drafting track, so that's why I say it's a great facility. You get a little bit of both, kind of a super speedway and kind of like a Phoenix type. So kind of excited about this one.
Watching the drivers come across the line, one of the drivers that our director had the camera focused on was Chris Stouffer. If you haven't caught the Majors Indy 500 event, I won't spoil it for you, but you might want to check that one out. It has a close finish, and the ruling is in on it too. So if you want to get into a little controversy, Richie and I are a little bit like Democrat and Republican here up in the booth tonight when it comes to that one. There's the Moby Dicky machine of Justin Weaver.
Yeah, right now, Adam Blocker, of course, defending champion of the series and race winner from last year, sitting up on top of the standings with the 26.714. Connor Harrington right behind him with a 7.0. Right now, Damon Martinez up to the top with a 6.69 there. And 6.99, sorry, on my thing, 26.700 if you want to round up. Tony Kanaan sitting, he was fast in practice. He's sitting in 14th at the moment, but it's not going to really matter that much, although this track does tend to have a little bit of a caution fest with the way you go into turn 3 and 4, and it kind of funnels down, so hopefully it doesn't catch some of these guys out. Got a big field tonight as well.
An attention hog always is Sage Karam, who decides to wait to the very end to put in his qualifying lap, so he'll get all the screen time possible. There he is, going out right now. 34 drivers have put in their time, and Sage has to wait to the very end. I think this is his warm-up lap. Oh, no, he puts it in the wall on the warm-up lap. That can't be good.
Yeah, he kind of dragged the tires along the wall. It's not going to help out. Michael Goodman on the screen there. Let's see what he's going to do as he crosses the line. Wow, that was a good time. 26.738. Puts him in 5th so far. There's Sage Karam on your screen.
And that time is only going to be good for 25th. So the youngster's going to have some work to do. 35 drivers with time so far.
I really think when he scrubbed the wall there, it kind of killed his momentum, and with only 2 laps, it's hard to bring that back.
A lesson to be learned. Don't procrastinate because it'll come back to bite you. Okay, I believe qualifying is done. Let's go to the grid like now. We'll take it a row at a time. Damon Martinez sits on the front. He's going to be flanked by defending champion Adam Blocker.
Yeah, right up behind them will be Connor Harrington in third and Nathan Lewis in fourth.
Third row's populated by Michael Goodman and Pennsylvania's own Stephen Larkamp.
Justin Wardlow and Brian Yazik come in starting seventh and eighth.
Then we go down to row 5. That's Ron Hanker and the Bakersfield boy, Jason Gallup.
Starting 11th will be Tyler Groff, and starting 12th will be Joshua Chin.
He races in car number 14, but he'll start in 13th. That is Tony Kanaan with Chris Sleepy Lanini outside of him.
Right behind them will be Jake Wright, multiple champion of the series. Arjuna Kankapati is going to start right next to him in 16th.
The Watchman, Mark Cohn in 17th, inside of Chris Stouffer.
Tony Schoen in 19th, and Justin Weaver in 20th.
Hidden Blackjack, it's Brandon Lincoln of the Double Duck spot, James Krahula.
23rd is going to be Jay Brandt. Right next to him will be Samuel Ryman.
Brian Carey and Andrew Kinsella way down in 28th.
I think we skipped one there. We got Sage Cameron, Brian Beard in 25th and 26th.
There you
and
go.
28th and 29th. Now you can go to 30th.
All right, I got it from here. We'll take 30th. That's George and Zaldo. I'll give you 31st.
31st is going to be Joe Branch, and 32nd is going to be George Sandman.
Scotty Johnson and Ken Hacker fill up the next row.
35th will be Brian Greenlee, and next to him in 36th will be Adam Frazier.
Down there, then these guys did not put in time. Scott Holmes, Bart Workman, and Mike Rigney. 39 names on the entry list. You see them lining up in pit lane. Beautiful day to go racing. I'm glad you're here with us on the iRacing Esports Network as you're watching this Global SimRacing Channel production. Round number 7 of the Lionheart IndyCar Series. The Global Technology 200. Let's try that one again because it's important. How about the Global Electronic Technology 200? As they begin to roll, we have 4 onboard cameras today. Look at that beautiful Japanese sky pushing down on the track. We'll start with car number 6. That's George Anzaldo with the Guys, Games, and Beard onboard camera. America's #1 Wisconsin-based multi-generational gaming podcast with a guy named Larry. Check him out at guysgamesandbeard.net. How about the number 42? This is the Global Electronic Technology onboard camera. At the counter, on the go, over the internet, over the phone, or at the track, credit card processing and merchant services. Visit them at gettrx.com. Number 99, the Midwest Simulations Michael Goodman onboard camera, makers of the Spotlights visual spotter system. You watch the track, they'll watch the rest. Use promo code LionFan to get a discount on MidwestSim.com. HyperX, they're always around. The 00 of Mike Rigney. Whatever you play, however you play, HyperX knows we're all gamers. Use promo code LionHRT15 at HyperXGaming.com. All the business is out of the way. Now we can go to the business of racing. We're all gamers, and HyperX is all ready to game. Competition, commitment, excitement. This is Lionheart. It's Damon Martinez out in front. The blue car of Adam Blocker right behind him. The rest of the top 5, Connor Harrington, Nathan Lewis, the rookie, and Michael Goodman.
Yeah, you already see Adam Blocker going to the outside of Damon Martinez. He's going to try to go to the outside in turns 3 and 4 with good tires. You can do that. We'll see if he can pull that off. He can't quite do it. He is going to pull it off. He's going to lead lap 1. Damon Martinez is going to follow in second with Connor Harrington right on his tail.
Blocker gets credit with leading lap number 1. They continue to race very close up front. The back half of your top 10, Larkamp, Wardlow, Galvin, Yazik, and the action is up front.
Yeah, everybody's spreading out about 3 wide, going into turn 3 and 4. Once again, very widely different lines going to that corner. You can see Adam Blocker going down low, trying to pick up that draft from Connor Harrington as they go into turn 1 and 2. This turns flat out, and you got multiple grooves. It's really going to funnel down. There's Tony Kanaan coming out of the pits. I don't know what happened there, but he's already a lap down.
Not sure what happened to Kanaan. Maybe he got upset when we left him off when we were calling the grid. Sorry, Tony. Connor Harrington gets credit with leading this one.
He might have had a gridding issue and had to start from pit lane, but got a long ways to go, so he's 2 laps down. You can make that up if you call it out just right. There's going to be some yellows, obviously. But right now, the action up front is very tight. You got Connor Harrington and David Martinez going side by side in turn 3.
Good racing so far. Looking for a big mover through the field. Not really much to talk about. Let's quickly look at car number 13, racing in 14th position. Somebody to keep an eye on. This is Chris Stouffer, and as I say that, he picks up another spot. Going underneath Jake Wright. Bring him with him, Chris Lanini. Look at that number 13, working in 13th position as he gets another spot on Tony. I'm sorry, that's Tony Kanaan, who's a lap down. Kanaan trying to stay out of the way.
Yeah, Tony Kanaan he came out right in the middle of this pack. He's fast enough to run with these guys, but he is a couple laps down. He's going to have to stick it out and try to get those passes around. I noticed that he had to manually disconnect and then connect it, so he must have had some sort of connection issue right before the race started. We'll keep an eye on how he does as we ride on board with him going into 3 at the moment.
So unfortunate. We try to play it straight, but certainly when it happens to a 8,500 winner, it's extra sad. Really tight. The driver I want you to watch in this battle is the 5th in line. He's been really aggressive. I'm talking about Nathan Lewis in the number 22. His car's fast. He just can't find anywhere to go as they fan out 3 wide in front of him. On the top side is Lewis as he tries his very best to get around Goodman.
Yeah, sometimes you can have a fast car, but you get kind of blocked in. Jason Galvin moving down to the inside lane there, going down into turn 1. He's going to fall in line behind Adam Blocker there. Adam Blocker holding on to 3rd spot, looking to make a move on Damon Martin, or that's Connor Harrington, sorry. They're going to go 3 wide into turn 3.
Look at the car on the inside, car number 93. This guy's working his way up. We're talking about Josh Shin. He works in 8th position right now, just on the inside of Ken Hacker. He continues to climb through the field, and right behind him, that's the guy we noticed earlier. That is Chris Stouffer, now up into 9th spot as he works on the inside of Hacker. Bringing along with him, Brian Yazik.
Up front, looks like we got a big battle for the lead between Harrington, Martinez, and Blocker. Connor Harrington holds the lead, yeah. Oh,
Nathan
man, it's very
Lewis.
close.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, these guys are running really close together, trying to get everything they can.
Nathan Lewis has such confidence in the server form of iRacing, as he was right there with Damon Martinez, not fearing the net code at all. Watch that number 22. Racing in 3rd, looking up ahead now at Blocker and Harrington.
Yeah, he's going to come up to these. He's got all the momentum. He's been moving up, started 4th, sitting in 3rd, but he's had to work on that a little bit, but he's not afraid to be aggressive. Right down to that white line. You can see him working that steering down the 3rd gear. He's going to shift up to 4th, shift up to 5th into turn 1. Going to go around the outside, which you can try to make this move happen if you can pick the draft up just right. But he has nowhere to go. He's got Adam Blocker right in front of him.
They've been 12 laps at this. Richie, I just did 500 miles at the Brickyard in these cars. It was open setup. But the racing was hot for maybe the first 5 or 6 laps, then the tires went away and they had to stop doing that. I don't see any sign of that happening right now. These guys are having fun.
Yeah, the weather conditions there were brutal. Right now with that 80-degree track temp, tires are going to hang in there. It's really just going to be about momentum as Nathan Lewis moves himself up into 2nd. He's going to look to take the lead. He's going to go around the outside here of Connor Harrington. I don't think he's going to be able to make it work, but he's going to try.
The 3rd car in line, we're going to go to the onboard camera of the race sponsor. There it is, the Global Electronic Technology 200. He races in those colors. Sitting in 3rd right now, up 7 spots, with a chance to go through the middle. Oh, Jason, easy, baby.
And you can see how they fan out as they enter into 3. Some taking the mid to high line, some taking the low line. coming down the front straightaway. Everybody kind of single files, trying to pick up that draft. And then they fan out once again into 1 and 2.
There is great racing going on through the entire field. We'll get back there in a minute, but right now, the action up front is just too hot. And here comes Galvin. Working the top side, but he's going to lose momentum up there.
Connor Harrington's been under attack since the beginning. He's done a good job holding that lead, but he's definitely going down to the bottom every time, forcing these guys to go around the outside. Jason Galvin's going to try that move. Christopher moving up there into 3rd. Nathan Lewis was into 2nd. Now he's falling back behind Adam Blocker into 5th. So a lot of changing positions up front.
I think Galvin had to check up a little bit so he didn't get into Harrington, lost momentum. He spotted Christopher's progress early. He's been working his way through, and now he is up to 3rd. Correction Soup, make that 2nd. And right behind him, Adam Blocker. On the top side, that is Galvin.
Connor Harrington now has got free reign to run the line he wants. From the outside to the inside. And here comes Galvin back to the outside of Christopher. It's given a little bit of a gap to Connor Harrington, a little freedom. He's definitely taking the short line around. And I'm not sure how long he's going to be able to do that. It really wears your tires out as we work lap 18 of 130.
All right, I hate to leap. Oh, we're going to ride on board with Goodman first. Here we go. There we are in the number 99. Now, right below him, you can't see, that's Yazik right behind him. In fact, you're going to see Yazik kind of show up in a minute. Nope, Yazik tucks in behind. Goodman does a good job of playing defense. There's our director. That's where the action is. Michael, they're coming.
Yeah, Brian Yazik doing a good job trying to get up into this lead pack, although Damon Martinez trying to go around the outside of Brian. Brian's got the momentum on the inside. He'll hold on to that position, but you can see up front, these guys are weaving all over the place. Connor Harrington's still holding on to that lead as this hungry group of drivers trying to take that away from him.
We're going to take you away from the front. We're going to go to car number 2 in 11th position. Who am I talking about? None other than Sage Karam. Horrible qualifying run. Started in 25th. He's up to 11th, and Sage almost gets into it. Do we have a yellow? Is this a major checkup? Oh, Sage was on the binders. We are safe.
I think he was just trying to go into the corner. Tony Kanaan moved up a little bit and forced Sage to kind of make evasive action, lost all his momentum. So lost a couple of spots, but he has moved up almost 10 spots. Looks like 11 spots since the start of the race.
So the 2 real-world IndyCar drivers almost got into it together. They get that sorted out. Look at them serenade their way down the back straight there. Let's look at 6. This is Nathan. We're going to look at Brian Yazik. He's on the low side. Now up above, screen left. Oh my boy, I hear this people really screeching the wheels, but we're still safe.
And we're under caution.
God, I heard something. Stefan Larkamp. That's the one we want to look at. He got into it with Andrew Kinsella. We'll start with a nice wide angle of this one. Everybody missed him. That's Larkamp and Kinsella. You'll see them to get together, and then we'll take an onboard. We'll take another look at this.
Yeah, Kinsella just kind of drove it in deep, and they touched wheels, sending Larkamp up into the wall.
Let's go on board with car number 4, if we could, Director, when we get a chance after this one. That would be James Krahula. We'll look at it. He has a good view of it. You can see the car spin down, and Krahula's able to drive by.
Yeah, you really see how much steering input you had to put into that car, so he's really losing the front end of that car. Everybody coming into the pits. Tony Kanaan staying out. This will be a chance for him to grab a lap back.
Indeed. This will give a good opportunity to see how far we have to go. How far can we go as we look at the race analysis. here at Motegi. As we see the drivers leaving the pit lane, they call it the Global Electronic Technology 200, so it must be 200 miles as we're going 130 laps. How far can we go on a fuel stint? About 40.
Yeah, that 40 laps is important. If you Tony Kanaan fan, obviously he's going to get the wave around, but when you get the wave around, you're not allowed to pit. So he's going to be out there. He's got about 22 lap tires.
Yep.
And fuel, so he basically needs a yellow right away. So he's only 1 lap down, and that way he can get some fuel and tires and hopefully cycle through once again.
Good news is he'll get the wave around. The bad news is Motegi is notorious for having clean racing in the Lionheart IndyCar Series.
Well, you can
I did a little map.
You can see how wide the track. I was just going to say, you can see how wide the track is. The real danger part is like where we had that incident. Is everybody kind of funnels down, tries to take that bottom line in turns 3 and 4, but the rest of the track is super wide.
Got up my abacus and did a little ciphering. Over 90% of the laps that have been run here have been green flag laps. That's an interesting stat you're only going to get here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Thank you, Simon and Poindexter in the GSRC stat room. All right, we have a driver that we're going to or profile, and it is Michael Goodman. It's best we get this early because the racing is intense. You can see there's 72 races. Doesn't have a win yet, which is a bit surprising. But look at all the top 5 and top 10s. Now, his first start was back in Kansas, but again, the stat boys went to work. Career rank in starts, 23rd. Well, okay. How about 6th in top 5? So there's a guy who knows how to bring it home in the money. The voice in my head coming from the director's booth says, Michael Goodman needs a darn win. I would agree. I know I've interviewed him as a winner, so I got to assume that happened over in the Retro Series. My 60-year-old brain could no longer keep those things separate. Pace car making its way around. I tried to find out what native actress is behind the wheel of the pace car, but I don't know any Japanese actresses, so let's go ahead and give it to good old Medina Mendez. We haven't talked about her in a while. Hopefully this will be the last time we see Medina. Not that we don't like her, but let's hope we get a nice green flag run. Richie, Christopher started in 18th, up to 2nd.
Yeah, he powered his way up to the front after that strong Indy 500 win. So nice job. Also want to get a shout out a little bit to Joe Hassert, started 29th all the way up to 13th. So he's done a good job. Sage Karam had a great pit stop. Moved up a couple of spots to 11th. And now that we're all re-racking them, fresh tires, we should get the same type of racing that we saw early on.
Did you misspeak, or do you know something I don't know? As we mentioned that Stouffer got the win. Has the is the jury in? Or was that just wishful thinking on your part?
No, the jury's in, but not the way I would vote.
Oh, okay.
But he still had a great race.
Got it. He did indeed. If you haven't seen it, go ahead. I don't try not to give any spoilers away, but it's worth the watch. Gather up the chickens, take cover behind the cows. The horses are out of the barn. And how about former point leader Connor Harrington leading the stampede down through 1 and 2? Stouffer following him.
Yeah, Connor Harrington's pretty much been in charge since the green flag. He likes to run that bottom line, really making these guys work it on the outside. No one's been able to do it yet. But what happens is he's stacking everybody up behind him, so that battle for 2nd through 10th is really hot.
Let's go ahead and watch and see if there's a favored line, the top line or the bottom line. I was actually paying attention Early on, I couldn't tell. Looked like when the tires got a little bit over, maybe the shorter way around was the way to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the shortest distance, but you wear out those front tires, so if we get a long run, that might change. But right now, Connor Harrington's got the grip to hold down the bottom. Christopher's going to do the cutover. Now he's going to have that inside lane. Connor Harrington kind of opened the door for him and gave it to him. And let's put Christopher into the lead with Adam Blocker in third.
Harrington tried to keep Stouffer outside, but Stouffer jumped back in like the Flintstones cat. And now it's Harrington knocking on the door, yelling Wilma, and sure enough, Harrington gets back up to the front.
Jason Galvin joining the mix there, going side by side with Adam Blocker into turn one. So he's doing a good job. Brian Yazek hanging in there. We got kind of a pack all the way back to, it looks like Sage Karam has moved into the 11th spot, but he's right on the back of the lead group now.
We are working now lap number 30. And soon our attention will go back. Well, actually, we won't even go back there, but Tony Kanaan, we haven't forgot about you, but he's hoping for that yellow. He picked up that one lap on the wave around. Pace is not an issue for Kanaan. He just wants to stay out there and hope there's a...
Yeah, he's right in the back of the group, didn't gain a lap, but he's going to need some fuel pretty soon.
Look at him weave like a loom down the straight. Stouffer now going underneath, looking at second, underneath Galvin.
Yeah, once again, Connor Harrington hugging that white line, forcing these guys to go around the outside. Stouffer and Galvin. We got Nathan Lewis up there. Josh Chin has moved up too as well into that pack. And Connor's kind of the cork in the bottle, but he's doing a good job holding everybody up.
Look at this as we ride off the tail of Galvin. Look at him just fan out all around him.
Yeah, I believe that was Damon Martinez we were looking at as he went to the low side, to the high side. And then it looks like Adam Blocker. He's kind of fell off a couple spots. Yeah, we got three wide. Chin's trying to go out on the outside around Adam Blocker. Adam Blocker's fading a little bit. He was up in second and third spot, but he's kind of slowly getting past, so he's kind of lost his rhythm. He's got to get it back, otherwise he's going to keep falling.
We don't mean to be too nonchalant about what's going on up front, but they are racing cleanly. They are basically making a pass for the lead almost every time.
Yeah, Christopher was in the lead. Connor Harrington took it back, but now Nathan Lewis is taking that second spot from Christopher. He's trying to go around the outside of the 44 of Connor Harrington. Not going to happen this lap, but here comes Jason Galvin right down to the bottom of Christopher. And then there's Joshua Chin in that purple car trying to go to the inside. Ooh, man, Jason Galvin put a huge block on Josh Chin going into turn one.
Okay, well, there are two drivers I want to talk about. Let's go to car number 41 in 12th position. This is Andrew Kinsella. He started in 28th. He's made up a ton of time. Now, two cars behind him, if we turn the onboard camera around the other way, we'll talk about Joe Hassard. You see Hassard? There he is. Now, Hassard is that car. We just look into the inside. Hassard started in 29th. He's up to 14th, the orange car of Big Joe. Kinsella and Hassard working their way through the field. Put them on your clipboard.
Yeah, and right in there is Ron Hacker going the other way. Started 9th down to 15th spot. So he's kind of sandwiched in between Showen, Kankapati, Kinsella. Kinsella doing a good job. He doesn't always qualify the best, but he's got good racecraft. He's got speed, so he's steadily moving it up. And if something doesn't take him out, he'll be right up there in that top group before the end of the race.
Better go back up front because Jason Galvin's getting a little frisky, racing in the number 42, sitting in third. That's Lewis and Harrington in front of them. We can't find anywhere to go. Now they start to single file out. Stouffer back and forth. Joshua Chin up to 5th.
Yeah, really, like I said, Connor Harrington's forcing these guys to go around the outside. Someone's going to have to juke him coming off a 2, try to dive down to the inside and get that position into turn 3. And that's really how I'm going to see this, how I see this pass being made. Nathan Lewis sitting in 2nd, but Stouffer now taking that position over as he dives into the bottom and right behind Connor Harrington on that white line once again.
A word of advice if you want to paint your car, look at that bright yellow number 4 back there. You don't need to go there, but it's so easy to see. I'm talking about James Krahula racing back in 21st position. You see him there? The only yellow car out here. Love that paint scheme.
Connor Harrington still leading as they fan out off a turn 2. Look at that shot. You can see how one car's down to the bottom. Everybody's up on top. What happens is these guys get into the draft to Connor and they get such a run into the middle of 1 and 2 that they feel like they should pull out, but then they run out of steam and they have to go the long way around and they just can't quite make that pass stick.
And as we watch, you can't help but think Tony Kanaan in his head, he's thinking tick-tock as the laps start to file away. It's going to be close. He's going to need to come in soon. Let's go with the onboard camera of Damon Martin. Oh, it's Michael Goodman. Working down on the low side.
That's Adam Blocker right in front of him. You can see Adam going from the high to low, taking that spot away. Michael Goodman doing a good job. Just kind of, right now, you just kind of want to stay in that lead pack without any damage. Of course, you want to get up closer to the front, but we've got a long ways to go. We're not even halfway. You just want to just stay in touch with the leader, who is now Connor Harrington, still leading this race in Motegi.
It is surprising how this track has the reputation of racing green flag laps when the racing is so close together.
Yeah, it's just that wide, the wide grooves you have. So even though they're running close, they do have room if they have to get out of the way of somebody. Really, like I say, the danger spot is turn 3 and 4 where it kind of funnels down. But everybody's doing a great job with only 1 yellow so far.
Oh, getting really close and up into the wall goes Josh Chin.
Oh.
He got a little bit of a hip check from Damon Martinez. Let's go ahead and look at Josh Chin as he puts it to the wall. I'm not sure it's going to bring out the yellow as he kept the car going straight. What a tough break. All right. Martinez will be on the inside. Chin will be on the outside.
Yeah, they're coming down into turn 1 and 2. And there's a lot of room here, so not sure what happened, but Chin just turns down. Looks like Damon, man, just kind of comes up. They get a little bit of contact, maybe a little net code, and Chin just pancakes the wall. Unfortunately, there we go. Roll bar shot. There we go. Josh Chin, you can see. Oh, they do get some contact, and he just kind of pancakes the wall. Fortunately, it's too much damage. He's going to be able to come into the pits, but he's going to be out of the race for the win.
Was having such a great race. No fast repairs in a Lionheart IndyCar Series event. It's big boy racing. Up in front, it continues to be Connor Harrington, who just puts those left side tires down on the line and keeps them there.
Yeah, I didn't know if you noticed in that shot too, Tony Kanaan did come into the pits, unfortunately under green, so he lost that lap that he gained earlier. He's just going to have to get out there and hope it works out for him later on.
We'll have to go another 15 or 20 laps, and then he'll be in the same situation again. There will be another yellow. It just matters if it comes when Kanaan is 1 lap down or 2 laps down. Things beginning to settle down now a little bit as I say that, working on the top side, moving up into 3rd. That's Nathan Lewis.
Yeah, he had a hell of a run coming off of 2. I was just watching that to go try to push himself around the outside of Galvin. Although Galvin was able to hold the inside, they're going side by side for 3rd and 4th. Christopher trying to make a move on Connor Harrington. Does cross right and gets the lead, but just barely, and Connor Harrington still able to hold that white line all the way around the track.
I'm going to take a look at it from Adam's point of view.
Yeah, Adam was fading earlier. He's got his rhythm back. He's moved up into, looks like 5th spot. But he has nowhere to go in front of him. Everybody's side by side. He is going to try to go around the outside. Not going to make it happen. But really what you can do is you can funnel down, pick that draft off as Nathan Lewis, and try again. But I really think you got to get to the inside to make these passes stick in turns 3 and 4.
Go on board. That's Galvin. Looking back at Lewis and Blocker. They get that sorted out. And we'll jump back up front, see what's going on there.
We do have David Martinez coming into the pits for some reason. It's a little early.
Remember, he was involved in the contact with Josh Chin.
So he might have had some damage. I don't see any damage, but you might realize he's losing too much speed, so he's going to go off strategy. I did see Tony Kanaan is disconnected, so he is giving up the ghost here. But
Martinez, that may be a guilt pit by Martinez there, feeling bad about what happened. Again, I hate to point it out. Director, let's go to car number 4. You can't miss him. It's James Krahula. He's up 6 spots. No, let's make the 8 spots. 22nd to 14th. Working on, he's got Hazard below. Look at the run from the top as he goes around Hazard. That's Ron Hacker. Folks, this is going on through the entire field. I try to let my spidey senses, usually I can get a sense of where the action, where something's going to break out. I cannot tell. It's hectic everywhere.
Yeah, usually we try to cover everybody, but the battle from the front to the back has all been the same. It's all been spread out. Sage Karam is able to work his way up to 7th spot now. He's right behind Brian Yazik. That qualifying is really kind of hampered his chances for a win so far, but we still have a long ways to go, and he's been able to keep it clean, so we'll keep an eye on him. Ooh, we got a car in the wall. Right there you go, flipping right behind Sage Karam. I don't know who that was.
Michael Goodman.
Oh, Michael Goodman, unfortunately, yellow flag's out.
It was Arjuna Yesikan-Kapati who was right in front of him, but the car we want to watch is Goodman as he goes into the wall. And everybody gets by him cleanly. If we get another chance to look for an onboard camera, we might want to try it with the number 24 of Ken Hacker once we look at Goodman take a ride.
Yeah, it looks like he just kind of got too close to, was that Kankapati right in front of him? I don't know who that was, but he got a little bit close and kind of clipped his rear tire and just kind of sent him up into the wall. Just a little bit of a racing incident. And, one car, here we go.
Here we go.
There's Ken Hacker, and there's the car flipping. Ooh, nice job, nice job.
Boy, they'll go by fast when you go by in full speed, and they are stopped on the track. Well, there's caution number 2. Unfortunately for Tony Kanaan, he is no longer with us, so that goal of him getting his lead back is not going to matter. Richie, we are going to see pit stops, I would think.
Oh, yeah. Everybody's done about 33, 34 laps since their last run, 40 lap stint, so you got to take those tires, come on in. With not a lot of yellow flags, you got to take it when you get it. And
okay.
Pretty much the whole field coming in.
It's Harrington, Galvin, Blocker, Stouffer, and Lewis. There's your front 5. Let's see if they come out in that order. Everybody finds their spots. Now, because qualifying was so shaken up by those 5, their pit boxes are well separated.
Michael Goodman away. Yep, he's going to retain that lead. Looks like Jason Galvin, Adam Blocker, and then Chris Stouffer.
Well, Looks like Yazik may have snuck up there, picked up a few spots. All right, with the pit stops done, we'll come back and bring you the green flag action when they start waving that particular shade of flag. We're going to take a short break. We'll be back in a few. From Twin Ring Motegi, welcome back to the iRacing Esport Network and GSRC's coverage of the Global Electronic Technology 200. We are working lap number 60 right now. Your leader is Connor Harrington. Pit stops are done. Galvin sits in second. Well, you can see the tower there. Stouffer, Yazik. Yazik with a nice pit stop.
Yeah, I miscalled it earlier. I said Stouffer came out in second. It was Galvin that came out in second, so nice job on those pit stops.
You're looking for a hard charger. There's a couple of them. Sage Karam 25th to 7th right now. And Andrew Havakech Kinsella 28th to 8th. Mentioned another one, Joe Hassard, we kind of spotlighted earlier, 29th to 11th. I'm talking about spotlighting. It's a good thing that we got our Michael Goodman spotlighted driver segment in now, because Michael is out of the race, sitting in 34th. That's why God made drop races. Working lap number 61. Chug-a-lug, chug-a-lug, makes you want to holler, hi-ho! Connor Harrington with a big lead.
Yeah, he got a big jump on those guys. Jason Galvin, a little bit more concerned about giving a little bit of a block to Adam Blocker there. Connor Harrington out in the lead, but they're battling for second. Here comes Adam Blocker to the inside of Jason Galvin as they head into turn 3.
Oh, I think Galvin and Blocker right now are feeling this big lead that Harrington has. And they are licking their chops because they know if they can get a run and time it right, they will blow by Harrington. The tires are fresh. Harrington's been hugging the inside. Let's see what happens.
Blocker out in front of Galvin. Galvin doing the crossover at a 2, going back to the inside in 3. At Blocker, oh, here we go. Here's the pass here for Jason Galvin's going to grab that spot back, I think. No, Adam Blocker. Oh, Jason Galvin does get it. Just barely, but Adam Blocker gets back in front. Connor Harrington out in front. The battle for the positions, or the exciting part, is right behind him.
Harrington doing a good job of staying out front. I believe that car that's battling with Blocker is Stouffer. Galvin sitting back in 5th. Right on board with Stouffer. I am surprised it's taken them so long to run down Harrington. Okay, here comes the run. Blocker, 4 car lengths back. 3 car lengths back. If he gets there at the right time, he doesn't want to get there too soon. Coming out of 4th, boy, he loses a ton of momentum.
Yeah, he came in a little fast and had to slow down to make that corner and lost all his momentum. He really needs to get the run coming into 1 and then pick it up and pass him coming out of 2. That's really where the draft's going to come into play. Here he comes, getting that run off of the corner. Connor Harrington hugging that white line, forcing him to go around the outside. Adam's going to squeeze him down, then go out wide and try to arc it in. And I don't think he's going to be able to do it. Well, here we go. Adam Blocker, they go side by side. Give the spot to Adam Blocker. But Connor Harrington's got the inside now.
Well, he led at the line, did Blocker, but he's not going to lead around the back straight. That was fun to watch. I like what you saw there, Richie. You can see Blocker take the car really high and arc it in there to get a good run off.
Yeah, that's something to kind of think about later in the race. If we get in this position, he was able to keep the momentum. All you got to do is cross the line. He's going to do it again, and he's going to take the lead. Even though he doesn't lead coming out of 2, he's leading across the line. So as we get closer to the end, that might be come into play for the win. Oh boy, look at Sage Karam on board. He's going to go right down to the inside. Looks like they're 3 wide going in. Oh, 3 wide going into turn 3. That's the tight fit. 3 wide coming. Oh boy, that was tight. Good job from everybody.
Stouffer did a good job of leaving Karam just enough room. Uh-oh, I hear trouble. Oh, we got a big one. Wardlow is involved in it. Car number 9. It's going to start. The car we can look at, Scott Holmes maybe might be the car we want to focus on this one, as car number 67, as he gets into the back of the Candyman. Then coming in is Scotty Johnson. He piles in, as does Brian. It's not easy being Greenlee.
Yeah, he ran right into the back of whoever was in front of him pretty hard. Yeah, looks like everybody checked up and one car didn't. Wardlow gets kind of bobbled up. He's got to check up right here, although he's going to wash up, slows down, and then boom, right into the back. And unfortunately takes out 2 cars out of the race.
Actually, I think 4 cars involved, and I think Greenlee got in there as well. So those 2 cars and the 2 that came in later, although it looks like the 38 of Greenlee may be all right. He's out there still orbiting in 27th position. Caution number 3.
Yeah, well, we got 50 laps to go. Obviously, they're not going to be able to go 50 laps under green. Will we see someone try to pit and maybe try to squeak it out if we get another yellow later on? We'll see. Maybe somebody in the 10th position on back, Tony Schowen area, Joe Hassert. Oh, more than that, Adam Blocker's going to come in. Going to bring Kinsella with him. Only 2 leaders to stay out is Harrington and Galvin. So here we go. Split strategy starting right now. When you're the leader and you see that happen, that's not something that you get too excited about, because usually they drag a bunch of cars with them. But if we go green, Connor Harrington's going to have to pit. Well, everybody's going to have to pit, but it's going to be a little bit different. If we get some yellows, those guys might be able to squeak it out, might be able to squeak 50 laps.
So it looks like 16 cars stay out. Harrington, Galvin, and Yazik, the front 3. You got to go all the way back to 17th position. I mean, Blocker, Kinsella, and Karam, who all came in for fresh rubber and a little extra fuel. Well, this gives us an opportunity to talk about one of our sponsors. Can we go to car number 6? This is our onboard camera car here with George and Zaldo. There we go, with the Guys, Games, and Beer. Let's go ahead and talk about these guys. Guys, Games, and Beer is America's #1 Wisconsin-based multi-generational gaming podcast with a guy named Larry. Now, every episode features 5 to 10 guys and gals talking about what games they're playing, news, and whatever comes up. Pretty much everything is fair, retro, modern, indie, console, PC, and Mac. Gaming as well as mobile are all in the mix. Yep, they drink beer too, except for those who are under 21, they drink root beer, is what I'm told. I'll believe it when I watch. There are also regular interviews with indie game designers of both board and video games. For more information, visit guysgamesandbeers.net. And I'll be honest with you, I have gone over and watched some of their production. It is very entertaining. If you know nothing about video games, it's still entertaining. What will be entertaining here is watching what the guys who just took rubber, Adam Blocker, Kinsella, and Karam, can do as they work through the field.
Yeah, I don't know if the tires are going to make that much difference at this point. These guys haven't done that many laps. It's going to come down to the fuel. They're just working the fuel numbers a little bit and probably thinking that the best way to get around Connor is maybe trick him in this situation. We know Connor is going to have to pit. Those other guys might be able to make it. They just might be able to make it if we get another yellow flag. Obviously, we get another yellow flag. A couple guys that stayed out, they're going to come in, they'll cycle to the front, and then they can hold them off.
What's fun to think about is Blocker was there. Now Harrington's been out in front for the majority of the race, but Blocker was able to pull a few tricks out of his sleeve there and able to beat Harrington to the line a few times. Something to keep in mind when we get to the end of this race.
Yeah, so theoretically, the guy who leads into 3 might not be the guy who leads across the line. So he showed he could do it twice.
Yeah. You can lead into 3, and you probably maybe even lead into 1, but if the race ends at the finish line, that leading into 1 won't matter. Let's take a look at some of our hard chargers. We really need to put the attention on car number 11, Joe Hassard. We talked about him earlier. Up to 5th, right? From 29th.
Yeah, that's a long ways to go. He's done a good job staying clean. He's made some passes. So he's sitting pretty in 5th spot. Let's give a little shout out to Mike Rigney in 14th. Started 39th. Pretty much dead last, all the way up to 14th. The guy right behind him, George Salmon, started 32nd. Doesn't have a lot of luck on the ovals, but he's doing a good job tonight, trying to get a solid finish.
Pace car pulls in. All right, one more time. Connor Harrington's going to lead the field across the start-finish line. Jason Galvin right behind him. The battle is back for 3rd. Jacek on the low side, Lewis on the high side. They get that sorted out in reverse alphabetical order. Look at that look and going real high. We have the battle up front. Lewis battles with Jacek, Galvin, and Harrington. Okay, let's watch what Galvin does now. Galvin was behind Blocker and watched how Blocker was able to get the lead. Let's see if Galvin tries the same thing as he works on Harrington. It's an overused cliche on my part, but Harrington clearly saying, put on the reggae music, because if you're going to pass me, you're going to have to do it high. As he holds down on that inside line. Hugging that white line like a tight pair of Fruit of the Looms. Momentum now from Lewis.
Yeah, Jason Galvin trying to do what Adam Blocker did earlier to Connor Harrington. He isn't able to continue the pass to get that across the line. Connor Harrington's dominated this race from the front. He's made those guys earn it, and they haven't quite been able to get around him. Once again, later on, we want to try to see the progress of Blocker, Karam, and Kinsella, and Stouffer going 3 wide now into turn 3. We'll see if this works out. Ooh, Galvin and Nathan Lewis getting very close at the apex 3 and 4.
They left an opening for Joe Hassard on the inside. I didn't think it was the place I would want to go. Joe went in fearless. He's going to get 3rd position. Getting stuck up top, that's Lewis as he loses another spot to Yazik. We're going to stay out front for a while because this is some intense racing. Galvin trying everything he knows to try to get around Harrington.
Yeah, usually the front kind of settles down. We can focus on some of the other battles. Right now, this battle up front has been like this since the beginning. Connor Harrington, Galvin, Hassert, up to 3rd now, starting 23rd, 29th. Brian Yazik, Nathan Lewis, Tyler Groff, Jake Wright hanging in there. Ooh, Connor Harrington taking an aggressive line into turn 3, trying to open up those angles a little bit, get a little bit of runoff of 4. He knows those guys are trying to pinch him down, and he does get a little bit of gap as they head into 1.
Okay, just off of this, guys, we haven't talked about him. Car number 26. You mentioned him, Richie. Tyler Groff, making his way up. He's been quite quiet so far. He sits just behind Nathan Lewis.
Yeah, we pretty much have Connor Harrington and then a big pack right behind him. Jason Galvin kind of trying to separate himself away from Joe Hassert. He's doing a good job at that. Right now, Jason Galvin just stay in the draft of Connor for a little bit. Maybe try to gap those guys behind, and then it's just a 2-horse race. He's going to try to make a move on the outside as they go in 3. Not going to be able to make it happen, but he's still keeping Harrington honest.
Galvin again. What my fellow commentator Joe Peak would say, doing a little reconnaissance racing right now, trying to figure out, I don't have to be in front. I just have to be in front at the line. He's not been as successful of it as Blocker has been.
Yeah, I was going to say, he's trying to do what Blocker did, and he hasn't been able to make it happen. Connor Harrington's been able to hold him off every time they cross the line. He has been getting nice runs coming off of 2 because you can pick that draft up. But because he's been kind of swerving around trying to do that, he's brought Joe Hassert right up into the mix as they've gapped basically Nathan Lewis and Brian Yazik in 4th and 5th.
Let's go back and check in 10th position, Sage Karam. Now, reason I want to talk about this, Karam was one of the drivers that came in. So not only does he have fresh rubber, but he's going to be able to stay out there a little bit longer.
Yeah, he came in with Blocker and Kinsella. He's able to be a little more aggressive on these starts, and he's able to move up as basically Blocker and Kinsella are back in 14th, 15th. And Karen is up in the 10th.
And that car directly in front to his right is Jake Wright, multi-time champion. Now, he's a little bit off of his game. I don't think he's putting in quite the practice time he did when he was a champion. So dominant, but right now racing in 9th. Just got James Kahula, just went under him, Richie.
Yeah, James Kahula, that bright yellow car, doing a good job as they come 3 wide off the corner. Yeah, you got to give a shout out to Sage Karam. He's been real aggressive. Made his way all the way up to 7th spot. He does have an advantage for the fuel. He's going to need 1 more yellow though to make it. So if it does go green, I don't think he can squeeze it all out. But if it does get yellow, he's going to cycle right to the front.
How about a blimp shot about maybe car number 78? Arjuna Kinkapati. This is just a pinata full of bees back here. You can see them right there. Look, they're just swarming. Right now they got it in 2x2. A little while ago they were racing 3x3. This is back here, this battle includes Kinsella, Stouffer's in there, Beard, Chin. Now they get it sorted out a little bit. They know they're on camera, so they're going to behave.
I think they can feel the race getting a little bit away from them as we're getting closer to the end. We have about 44 laps left, and you know, now's the time you got to start making your way to the front. You can't be hanging around in the middle anymore. So we're starting to see the aggressiveness go up a little bit.
Now, if memory serves, when we brought up the race analysis, it said they could go 40. So I think these guys up here, like Kinsella and Harrington and Galvin and Hazard, can easily go all the way with just one more stop. Let's go ahead and go on board now. We're going to ride on board with George and Zaldo. We talked about guys, games, and beer earlier. Check them out. Single file up front.
Yeah, it's settled down a little bit up front, so everybody's kind of mellowing out a little bit. Still, Jason Galvin trying to get around Connor Harrington. He can't get it done. Connor Harrington's got this thing wired as far as on the defensive side. And I'm sure Galvin's getting a little frustrated because he's trying everything he can. Look in the back there, that's like 4 wide. Yeah, back to your pinata full of bees.
Yeah. Drivers that are involved in the Watchman, Mark Cohn in that mix. There goes the fluorescent yellow car of Krahula.
Yeah, a little wide coming out of 4, going to lose a little bit of momentum. Right in front of him looks like Adam Blocker. And there's Kinsella has got in front of Blocker. These guys have moved up to 9th and 10th. Kinsella, Blocker, and Karam up to 5th. They were our lead cars that pitted on that last caution.
They go underneath Graf. This is Karam right underneath Yazik. And now their nonsense opens the door. That lets in 2-time champion Jake Wright, car number 27, up to 6th.
Yeah, that little battle opened the door there. Yazik had to give up that position as they go into 3. Karam up to 5th. Right up to 6th, Yazik in 7th, and they can see the lead pack right in front of them.
Let's go up to 2nd real quick, because now making a name is Nathan Lewis. Boy, he's working hard. He's trying to get around Galvin.
Yeah, Galvin was working so hard to get around Connor Harrington. He's kind of lost that gap. That's opened the door for Nathan Lewis to try to go around the outside. And right behind them is Joe Hassert. Once again, starting 29th, doing a great job, holding off 4th. He's got Sage Karam coming up behind him, but he's doing it. He's holding his own there.
What we have to watch out for is the battle from those other guys. Karam, I believe, is the leader of those guys that made the pit stop.
Yeah, Karam, Kinsella, Blocker. I know there's other guys that came with him, but Blocker wasn't 2nd at the time, so those are the guys we noticed that came in first. The leader's working on lap 37. With that yellow flag, I'm going to say they could probably go to lap 42, 43. And what do we have? 35 35 laps left.
But, Richie, there's going to be that brief minute where they're going to be in jeopardy, because this is not Indy where you can pit and stay on the lead lap. You'll lose a lap here if you have to come in.
Yeah, you
so
will
there's
lose
that
a
little
lap.
bit where Harrington and his friends, when they come in, they're going to hope that a yellow doesn't come out. Yes, they'll be able to circle around and get back, but they'll be well at the back of the lead lap.
Yeah, and we've seen that it is hard to get to the front just on merit alone. Riding on board with Big Joe Hassert. Kind of talked about him a little bit, holding the zone in 4th spot. Sage Karam is a couple tenths behind him. But yeah, Joe Hazard doing a good job going into turn 1, 210 miles an hour. He's going to pick up the draft of Nathan Lewis, Jason Galvin right in front of him. You can see Jason Galvin kind of weaving, trying to break that draft. It's going to open the door for Nathan Lewis to the outside.
Richie, let me ask you, do you think the inside line is effective because the guys behind are pushing when they get close, or is it just that it's just the shorter way around? And
I think on this track, yeah, this track, and especially with those temps, you still have good tires, and it's just, you can see how wide it is. It is by far the shortest way around. I mean, these guys have the momentum. You can see them pick up the draft, but then they just can't quite complete the pass because they have to go the long way around. So the only person we've been able to see do it has been Adam Blocker, even though he didn't lead into one. He led over the line. So we'll see if these guys can mirror that.
And if things play out the way they are, I'm not sure that the pit strategy is going to put Harrington and Blocker together. We'll see. Blocker and all those guys, Blocker, Karam, and Kinsella paid a lot of track position price when they came in early. Now, that being said, Karam's doing his really best to work his way through the field. He is up to 4th, and within a chipping wedge of Harrington.
Yeah, he's right there. He does have better tires, 10-lap fresher tires, but they had to work pretty hard to get up there. Right now, we just got to kind of keep an eye on when is the pit window going to open for Connor Harrington. He's working on lap 43 right now.
It's
got to be
for
coming
a lot
soon.
of guys. Hazard coming in. It's a bunch. All these guys. Graf. 2 of them make their stop. I thought there'd be more, but it's just Hazard and Cohn, I guess, coming in, and Graf.
Now Connor Harrington's going to go around again. So not only has he been in the lead the whole time, he's done a good job saving fuel, but he's going to have to come in soon, and that'll be key. That entry is really tricky if you want to pit off a 4 and try to get slowed down. We'll see if he does that, but the other guys, I don't know if they can make it unless they get another yellow. So they came in with about 50 to go, had a couple yellow flags. I don't know if they can make it, so they're definitely hoping for a yellow as well.
George Enzoldo bites the bullet and makes it stop. Yep, here he comes.
He's in. He's bringing in Galvin as well. Nathan Lewis stays out.
Okay, there's nothing really to watch here. Usually I like to watch how they sort back out, but basically it's going to be who comes out of pit lane first. This is really, Richie, a huge stop. If Galvin could somehow manage to jump Harrington, he hasn't been able to get around him on the track. Let's see if he can short fill maybe and pass him out here. More drivers coming in.
Yep, rest of the pack. Nathan Lewis. Nope. He's going to get out in front of Galvin.
Yep, Harrington comes out first.
Now, the important part is to see how long can those other guys hang out there. It's been Sage Karam is now in the lead. He's been out there for 33 laps. A couple of them yellow flags. If they can get a yellow flag, they may be able to make it. And Connor Harrington will be kind of screwed because he's the first car lap down at the moment.
Let's look at Harrington right now. Car number 44. That's Damon Martinez. These guys are all on a different pit stop strategy now. He's got fresh rubber. Why do we care about Harrington? Well, he's the leader of these guys that can go the distance from here. Everybody else has one more stop. Even though they're separated by over a lap, Harrington right now is racing Sage Karam.
Yeah, he is racing Sage Karam in more than that, in 2 ways. Like I said, I don't think Sage Karam, Blocker, Kinsella, who came in on that last run, and in fact, all those guys up there, all the way down to, Kankapati came in a little bit.
Something else to remember, when Harrington and Galvin came in, they needed to take 27 laps worth of fuel. When Karam and Blocker and Kinsella comes in, it's going to be close to a splash and go. Well, it'll be a little more than a splash and go. It'll be a splash, splash, splash and go, but you get the idea. Okay, this is Adam Frazier as he's working hard, going around him. That's Nathan Lewis. He's a lap down. These guys are all going around him on fresh rubber. "38 laps is the stint for Sage Karam." Yeah, the other guys went a little bit farther, Richard. They went like 43, 44, but that involved the yellow flag.
Yeah, they had a yellow flag there to help them out. Just to give you the idea of the lap time, Sage Karam is running 27.7s up
We
front.
better go to Karam real quick. Blocker, once again, is on his tail. Now, Adam, I don't know how hard you want to work here because they're going to be pitting pretty soon. George Anzaldo coming in.
And out of those three that pitted, Andrew Kinsella has decided to give up that try. He's going to come in. He's going to short pill. He's coming out now. So out of that group of three, he's the only one that decided to pit. Sage Karam had a blocker, going to hang in there. We'll see how this all works out.
Kinsella comes out behind the guys who did pit with Galvin and Lewis and Harrington. Okay, blocker comes in. Might have felt I was faster than those guys, than Karam. I'm going to come in now. What I'd like to do is pick up Harrington, car number 44. He's going into the back straight. We want to see how he comes out in relationship to blocker.
And
Karam just getting to his
Karam's
spot.
coming in. Karam is deciding to come in. But yeah, Connor Harrington coming onto the front straight, crosses the line at the moment.
Blocker is rolling.
And he's going to
And there they go.
Yeah, he's going to be easily in the lead. Easily in the lead.
And I got a hunch that's going to happen to Karam as well because they were nose to tail.
Yeah, and Adam Blocker also lost a spot to Andrew Kinsella, so it looked like the tire drop-off was a little bit too much. Those guys that pitted earlier have the advantage.
Karam, because of that horrible qualifying run, has a much longer run after his pit stop. And there they go. Galvin goes by, Lewis, Harrington. And actually, it looks like Blocker comes out even ahead of Karam. Not a good stop for Sage.
Well, if we go up back to Connor Harrington, who's going to be the leader, Nathan Lewis almost made the pass on him, and he's got basically Jason Galvin right behind him. So these three are separating themselves from the rest of the field. This is going to be the battle for the win. Nathan Lewis, Connor Harrington, and Jason Galvin. Jason Galvin, ooh, trying to make it 3 wide. Nathan Lewis puts the block on him on the outside. Now Jason's going to try to maybe go down the middle. Not going to make it happen. Connor Harrington's still holding the point.
The Indiana driver, Joe Branch, picking up a bonus point for leading a lap. He comes in, pits from the lead, and the window now has closed. Harrington, Lewis, and Galvin. We saw what Galvin tried to do on the back of Harrington. We really didn't get a chance to see what the rookie Nathan Lewis can do. He's going to try to power by him now as he works on the outside going into 3.
He's going to try, like I said, the only person who's been able to see make that move work was Adam Blocker, and he is not in this mix at the minute. He's quite a ways back. So Connor Harrington riding that white line all the way around. Nathan Lewis hasn't been able to figure it out how to get by him at the line. He's able to get a nice run here off of 2, but he can't quite make it happen off of 4.
Right on board with the guy 3rd in line now. Nathan kind of in the position that Jason was in earlier, where Jason was working on the back of Connor Harrington and being hassled. Now he's going underneath. See, this is the price you pay when you try to pay attention to the leader. Look at the run from Galvin. He got a toe from Lewis, and then he tucked in behind Galvin. Now they try to get side by side.
I really think the only way you're going to make this move on Connor Harrington, Galvin needs to stay right behind him as they come off a 2 and kind of just steal that spot right here. Stay there. Don't pull out. Just stay there, stay there, stay there. Now duck onto the inside right now. And if he moves up at all, you can take that spot. Maybe not that time, but the lap before, he did leave that door open a little bit.
Interesting dynamic as Galvin was really working the inside, which forced Harrington to cover down on the inside, which allowed Lewis to take a really wide line in. Boy, talk about Harrington trying to make his car as wide as a Julia Roberts smile right now. They're teaming up on you, Connor.
And as you can see, there's basically 2 packs after those green flag pit stops. You got this group of 3, and then right behind them is Kinsella leading the rest of the group.
And I think all this horseplay that's going on between the 3 cars up front, might allow Kinsella to run these guys down. He's only back by 1.7 seconds. There's Kavich in front. The high side is Jazik right behind. Now there's Adam Blocker in 5th overall in his familiar blue car. Honestly, they might be best served to let Blocker get to the lead and try to chase these guys down. There's Sage Karam. Remember me? Here's my Wix car. I'm diving underneath Blocker.
Yeah, he's realizing there's only 11 laps left. He's not going to sit back here and watch this happen. I'm going to try to make it happen. These guys up front, about 1.7 second gap. You can pick up the draft. At least at Indy, you're picking up the draft just under 2 seconds. So they're going to start picking it up. If these guys keep racing, we might see them join this group right at the end.
They may get there, but I'm not sure they're going to be able to do anything with Connor Harrington. This is truly a case where my dad used to say, catching them is one thing, but passing them is another. It's like the hardest part of milking a rooster is after you catch it, and that's kind of what's going on right now with Connor Harrington.
Yeah,
here comes Galvin.
The only thing I will say is they do have fresher tires, so that might come into play, but they are catching them. It's down to 1.4 seconds.
That second pack now, you'll see him at the top of your screen. That's leader, the Pied Piper, Sage Karam. It's got a pretty good guy riding shotgun, and that's Adam Blocker. There goes Andrew Kinsella. Karam, Blocker, and Kinsella have been fast the whole race. They just haven't had the track position to be up there. They were there for a little bit during that altered pit window. But they gain. It's under a second now.
Yeah, they're definitely in the draft now, and they're working pretty good together back there. They're all kind of single file, realizing the situation. These 3 don't care. They're going to try to get around Connor Harrington, which they've been trying all race long. But here comes Sage Karam leading that group, and we're soon going to have, instead of a 3-car battle, about a 6-7 car battle.
About 8 laps difference as far as rubber goes between Karam and the 3 guys up in front. Uh-oh, I heard trouble. I think we're okay. No, we have a car. It's George Sandman. Is this going to bring out a yellow? It does.
So it's all new race.
Sandman right next to Justin Weaver. They were 3 wide. Weaver was in the Steeler wheel position. The clown was Brian Carey. The Joker was Sandman.
Yeah, 3 wide there, trying to squeeze each other as they go into the corner, and then they look like maybe a little bit of net code.
Did indeed.
Fortunately, George Salmon got the worst of it, being on the outside.
We come back. I don't think we're going to see any stops. We're going to be looking at a 3, maybe 2 or 3 lap shootout. Richie, you would have to think that Harrington might be most vulnerable on the restart when he's not up to speed yet. They're certainly having a hard time getting him when he's full throttle.
Yeah, he's shown, though, that he's been able to get great restarts, to get jumps on these guys every time. Ooh, looks like Jason Galvin's looking to maybe enter. Oh, he changes his mind. He was trying to see who was going to do what. I don't, there's no point in going into the pits now. You're going to have about, 3 or 4 to go. Connor Harrington's been tough, man. He hasn't really been able to get past. The only person to be able to make it happen is Adam Blocker, and he's sitting back there in 5th. If I had to put my money, Sage Karam's pretty aggressive. Nathan Lewis has been there, so has Jason Galvin, but Connor's been strong.
The Watchman thinks it's time to pit as Mark Cohn comes in, but he was in 20th position at the time, so what will happen to him is he'll only lose 3 or 4 spots on the track. He'll be at the very back, but he will have much fresher rubber, so he thinks he can probably get those spots back in the few laps of green flag racing we have remaining.
Yeah, no, if you're that far back, there's no reason to stay out, so you might as well come in and take tires. And even if you can pick up 4 or 5 positions before then, you're not going to win, but you can gain some spots. It was worth it.
Richie, I hesitate to say Connor Harrington has been the class of the field because I think maybe so much of it has been based on he's just been out in front. And if he wasn't happened to be out there, it wouldn't have been him.
He's been out front, but he hasn't always been out front. He's taken that lead back, but he was pretty aggressive earlier on. He really wanted that lead, so he obviously knew having that clean air, being able to run that inside line, that was the key. And he's made these guys, they've tried everything they could, and so far nobody's been able to crack that code.
Some of our big name rookies like Josh Chin and Arjuna Kinkapati are out of it. We do have Nathan Lewis up there, though, racing in 3rd. Seems only fitting that the man with global electronic technology on his car would be the winner of the Global Electronic Technology 200. I'm talking about Jason Galvin, but sometimes the racing gods are not just. Jake Wright in 11th position, still trying to shake off the rust. You can see him continue to improve now in his 2nd race.
Yeah, lights are still on that pace car, so we're going to go run around one more time. It's only going to leave us 3 laps. I'm going to go out on a real far limb here and say Connor Harrington wins the race.
Yeah, that's a safe bet. How about a little love to the car number 5, Brian Beard? Haven't heard much from him, back in 12th position. A nice quiet run. Started in 26, so up quite a few. Brian was our pole sitter at Homestead in the very first race of the season. Well, Medina, honey, are you going to turn the lights off for us so we can get this thing going? I think she does. So we'll have 2 laps here in Japan to decide the winner. Sage Karen trying to get a position right now as he works up on the back of Nathan Lewis, playing a little mind games with the rookie. Richie said it. Harrington has been very good restarting these things. Jason Galvin trying to figure out what he can do. Galvin leaving about 4 car lengths between him and the leader. Maybe he's going to try to time it. Nathan Lewis, the rookie, looking to steal one. Certainly potential to win if Harrington and Galvin get together. Karam with the freshest rubber in 4th.
Yeah, I think the person to watch is really Karam and how aggressive he's going to be. But if yellow comes out, this race is over. And here we go.
Oh, a horrible start from Galvin as he lights up the tires. Lewis blows by him. Galvin trying to defend the inside on Karam. Karam was pushed in the wall, had nowhere to go. A good run, though, from Lewis, but he can't do it. Now here comes Galvin fighting back. Maybe it was all part of the master plan. 1 car length back, a half car length back. He pulls to the outside. He is now side by side with Harrington, but Harrington has the momentum. They come to get the white flag. Karam now with a run as he goes underneath Galvin. At the line, it is going to be Harrington, but look who eases out in front. It is Sage Karam. They are side by side. There's banging in the back, but it doesn't matter. We are going to finish this race under green. This is the most under threat that Harrington has been all race. He has to stay to the inside. Going down there now is Kinsella, but he runs out of momentum. Here comes Karam, and at the line, it's gonna be Harrington.
Oh man, that couldn't have been any closer. Sage Karam did everything he could to get that crossover, and man, that run that Kinsella had was unbelievable. Awesome finish.
Andrew Kinsella had a run using the rocket fuel, but he got to the outside, ran out of momentum. Let's go ahead and take a look at the finish. We picked this one up.
And you can see how Karam got that run off the bottom, and he tried to get the run, but Connor Harrington, he's been the class of the field. It would have been kind of a shame if he didn't win the race, but Karam definitely made him earn it on that last lap.
He was down low, but it doesn't work out. One more look at it. There you see it. He took a peek down underneath, ran out of tarmac. The racing is over here in Japan, but our broadcast is far from done. Don't go far. We'll come back to run down the entire finishing order, put a lock on, talk to some of the drivers, and then put a lock on the gate. You're watching the Global SimRacing Channel coming your way on the iRacing Esports Network. Welcome back to the Global Electronic Technology 200 and the GSRC broadcast stool here, the third leg of the stool, and the HyperX post-race show. Let's talk about HyperX for a minute. The Lionheart Racing Series is powered by HyperX. When you're trying to claw your way to the top of the podium, it pays to have an ultra-comfortable, high-quality headset that gives you audio information you need to grab the checkered flag. From high-performance drams and SSDs, outstanding microphones, accurate mice, responsive keyboards, to their legendary cloud line of gaming headsets. HyperX makes the gaming gear you need to succeed. Casual or pro, no matter your creed, color, or culture. We're all gamers, and HyperX is always ready to game. Hey, I got a promo code for you. How about LionHRT15 at HyperXGaming.com. And now let's go to the turn racing finishing order. Well, he said, "You shall not pass." I'm talking about Connor Harrington. Started on the third spot. Once he got to the lead, that's where he stayed, except for a brief moment where the pit window kind of shuffled him in and out. Sage Karam did all he could to get there, but couldn't do any better than second. Andrew Kinsella made a mighty attempt on the outside, but it was too far around. He'll have to settle for third. Adam Blocker and Jason Galvin go fourth and fifth. The back half of your top 10, Nathan Lewis, Brian Yazik, Joe Hazard, Chris Stouffer, and James Grahula. Richie?
Yeah, coming home 11th will be Jake Wright. Was up there for a little bit. Kind of faded at the end, but good solid finish. Brian Beard, 26th to 12th. Nicely done. Tyler Groff, 13th. Tony Schoen, 14th. Jay Brent, 15th. Justin Weaver, 16th. Brian Carey, 17th. Mark Cohn, 18th. Chris Lanini, 19th. And Samuel Ryman in the 20th position.
5 more cars on the lead lap. In the blackjack spot, it is Ron Hackard. The double duck position goes to Adam Frazier. After him, it's Joe Branch. Mike Rigney and Scotty Johnson go 24th to 25th. So they're the last 2 drivers on the lead lap. Ajuna Capati sits in 26th position, just ahead of Damon Martinez. George Anzaldo, 1 lap down in 28th with Ken Hacker. And we saw what happened to George Sandman as he got put into the wall in 30th.
Coming on 31st will be Brian Greenlee. All these guys involved in an incident or two. Justin Wardler, 32nd. 33rd will be Scott Holmes. Michael Goodman, 34th. Brandon Linkerman, 35th. Tony Kanaan, 36th. Josh Chin, 37th. Stefan Larkamp, 38th. And Bart Workman coming home, 39th.
And now I get to go to the Sim Experience Victory Lane to talk to our winner today, Connor Harrington. Boy, you put those left sides down on that line and keep it there and make them go around the top.
Yeah, a wise man once said the shortest distance between 2 points is a straight line, and a flute with no hole is not a flute, and a donut with no hole is a Danish. He's a funny guy.
Thank you. Any concern when the pit window kind of got jumbled up there? Or did you feel comfortable it was all going to sort out?
The late race yellow I really didn't want to see. I was pretty content up front. My teammate Nathan and myself, we were controlling the pace with Galvin up front there. So that yellow with 8 to go really isn't what we wanted to see. We had a good gap to the guys behind, and even though they were catching, we were confident that we were going to be able to stay in front. So when those yellows come out, the chips all go down the table and they fall where they may. And just thrilled to get it done here in Motegi.
Get you out of here on this one. You had Galvin and Lewis trying everything they could to work on you. In fact, sometimes they were double teaming you, but the only driver we saw actually get around you, he actually never actually got around you all the way around the track, but that was Blocker, who beat you to the line a few times. Were you worried about him?
Yeah, well, I mean, those guys, they had taken the extra pit stop there in the middle of the race and taken the tires, and Sage made a hell of a move going into turn 3 and 4. So hats off to him, to really stick it in there and make me earn it, but not, and have us end up in the barriers. But just an unbelievable win. Last year we got caught out with some fuel strategy and we tried to make the alternate strategy work. And, it was much the same story where we were the dominant car for most of the race and just it didn't fall our way. So it's really nice to get a little bit of redemption here tonight.
Good to have you back sipping that champagne. Good luck to you the rest of the way.
Yep. Thanks, Soup. Thanks, Richie. Thanks, GSRC. Thank you, HyperX. Thank you to our sponsors, Alcantech Simulation, Alcantech.com, Cranfield Simulation, TQ Engineering. Their support means everything to us. And we'll catch you guys at the next one. Thanks, guys.
You got it. Connor Harrington, the driver who gets to celebrate in the Sim Experience Victory Lane. To help you get there, check out the Sim Experience AccuForce steering system. It has the most advanced tuning features on the market. The AccuForce Direct Drive is second only to the real thing. See the entire Sim Experience line of products at simexperience.com. Richie, who do you have?
Yeah, I think we got Sage Karam here, second place finisher. Sage, saw you bump the wall a little bit in qualifying. I don't know if that is what happened and pushed you back to 25th. You really had to earn your way up there. Boy, what a run at the end.
Yeah, no, we hit the wall off turn 4 to start our fast lap, and by turn 1, my flyer lap in qualifying, I was about half a tenth down already. So yeah, it was just kind of what we had to deal with. But it's racing, and I knew I had to make my way up, and it was going to be a long race. And just from practice, I knew it was going to be quite tough. But fortunately, we stayed out of trouble and were able to get up towards there. We were really fast. We just could never really get to the front until right at the end there. I think if we had one more corner or 100 feet longer in that thing, I think we would have won the thing. But that's all it is. I'm very happy with second, considering where we started, and it's just a good points day. So yeah, it was good.
Yeah, we saw you guys, right before that last yellow flag, you basically had the group of 3, and then you were leading the group of 8, whatever, you were slowly catching them. I don't know if you're going to be able to catch them, but all of a sudden that yellow came out. Tell me what you're thinking right at that moment.
Yeah, I mean, I think we would have caught up to them, but it's like once you catch them, can you get around them kind of thing. So I don't know. I was just kind of like, all right, we got a yellow flag. It gives everybody an opportunity. But then again, I was thinking their tires were going to cool down, and any advantage we had on tire life, I felt like there was going to be no advantage then. And, I feel like I was wrong on that, because I felt like when we got back to green, I do feel like the tires we had were a bit better. And yeah, going in that last lap, I knew what I wanted to do. And I think I changed my mind like 3 or 4 times and just didn't really do what I anticipated was going to happen going into turn 4. I didn't think that second or third and fourth place were going to be, right on us. My plan was to just kind of run middle to high of the track and try and take them on the outside with the fresher tires. But once I went into turns 3 and 4, I had Kinsella on the outside and Blocker right on me. There was just really nowhere to go. And I made a last second decision to try and over under. And I just couldn't get the power down in time to get the run off. But, it was still a great race and a great finish. And, hats off to Connor. He drove perfect all race, and he deserved the win.
Yeah, he definitely made it tough on everybody. And I said all along, somebody's going to have to try to get on the inside of him coming off that corner. And you did, and almost pulled it off. So great job. Definitely going to pad your points lead here. Just go ahead and shout out some of your people to thank, and we'll finish on that.
Yeah, so I mean, all my sim sponsors, sim team at Kawanda Sim Sport, VRS, and then all my real time sponsors with Wix Filters, Dry and Reinbold Racing, Mecum Auctions, just everybody that keeps it going. Then you guys, obviously up in the booth, you guys do a great job. I love to rewatch these races, and it's been cool. So and also just everybody at Lionheart, drivers are top notch, and it's a great league, and I just love being a part of it. And yeah, looking forward to the rest of them.
Yeah, thank you very much there, Sage, our second place finisher. Soup.
Okay, I get to talk to Andrew Havaketch Kinsella. Harrington and Karam hogged up all the airtime here at Kinsella. So I'll give you a quick one. We watched you from 28th position work your way through. My goodness, I thought maybe there was some hope of you stealing one on the outside there at the very end. You had a run.
Yeah, I had a run. I didn't think I could actually get there unless I got the draft, so I kind of pinched myself off on the exit of 4 there, and it almost worked. Didn't quite work. If I'd had one more lap, I would have got there. But yeah, it was a great run. Very, very happy with a third place finish. As you said, 28th to 3rd. Was battling through the field all day. It was a little bit of an adventurous start and definitely an adventurous finish, and hopefully a very entertaining finish. But very happy with that. Basically, on the last lap there, I saw the outside. No one was going out there. Everyone was trying to get the draft, and I figured they were all going to have a bad line into 3 there, so I just ducked out high really early there and went around the outside. Thankfully, Blocker and Galvin were able to keep it down, and I was able to sort of come out side by side with Harrington and Karam there, and we had a good drag race to the line, 4800ths from 28th on the grid. Definitely will take that one for sure.
When you think about it, you and Karam and Blocker were all on that alternate strategy, all had fresh rubber. It worked out for you guys. You were able to get around everybody else except for Harrington.
It worked out, but it almost didn't. The front end of the field fractured more than we were hoping for there on the pit stop exchange. Other than that, I think like if it had been one more lap, it would have been Sage, myself, and Adam 1, 2, 3. I don't think Harrington had the tires to fend us off there, but it was a 2-lap dash to the end, and even without the caution, we probably wouldn't have been there anyways. It would have been touch and go, and we probably wouldn't have been around them. But yeah, just thanks to Adrenaline and Adam, Tony, Brian, Arjuna, Chris, Joe, and Tony, all the guys. Great strategy as always, and thanks to HyperX and all of our sponsors, and thanks to you guys.
Good to see you back up on the podium. Andrew Kinsella, third today. Richie, I believe you have one more.
Sure, you got him.
Jason Galvin.
I got you, Sue.
There we go.
I was just going to if I'm interviewing myself here.
How'd the race go?
That race went to plan. I love this track. I don't know, there's something about it. I've won here twice, and that's why I sponsored this race. You know, won it 2 years ago as the sponsor. It went to plan. The setup didn't really, you know, there's no way to get around Connor. He did a perfect job. If he didn't make a mistake, nobody was passing him. And, you know, Connor's become a pretty good friend of mine. He spotted for me when I won the Indy 500 and ran a perfect race. So the tires just at the end, I heard Sage talk about it. That was the difference on that last restart. And Nathan jumped the restart and got penalized. But by then I had already lost ground to Connor, and here came Sage and Adam. And that last lap, I can't imagine what it was like for you guys, because in the car I was having a heart attack, hoping not to crash. So thrilled with the top 5 to have the Global Electronic Technology car run up front.
Yeah, let me ask you this.
Great.
I got a garage sale coming up this weekend. Is Global Electronic Technology? Can you help me out? How's that work?
Yeah, if you want to take credit cards at your garage sale, absolutely. Yeah, I got all the guys from Global watching this. They're back in Charlotte. It's supposed to be my sister's wedding this weekend. It got called off. Their fiance is on Clint Boyer's team, so they had a race tonight. They're back there in Charlotte watching it, and then tuned in after. So say hi to all my family back there. And yeah, Global Electronic Technology, gttrx.com. If you own a business and you take credit cards, there's no reason for you not to reach out and at least see if we can't help you out and do something for you. We've done great things in the auto racing industry the last 4 years, and I've helped out a lot of good friends and Lionheart sponsors as well, and set them up with better credit card processing rates and better service. So if you own a company, or you're a manager, or you have a family member who does, and they take credit cards, it doesn't matter how big or how small you are. You know, we have massive franchises, and we've got mom and pop stores that go to the farmers market. So you can reach out to me on Facebook, or shoot me an email at jgalvin@gettrx.com. Head to Global's website, take a look at it there. You can find the contact information there as well. And the cool thing is, if you reach out to Global through internet methods, it's going to be a family member who helps you out. So we're all family around here. So appreciate it, man. It's a great run. I'm thrilled. I'll take 5th. That's a great night.
All right. We'll see you next time. Sitting in the top 5 for Jason Galvin. That's going to do it for us here on the Global SimRacing Channel. Let's thank everybody at the Lionheart IndyCar Series for sponsoring this event, especially First Medical Equipment. They've been the source of medical supplies and equipment in the Burlington, Iowa area for years because of their superior commitment to provide the absolute best in product quality and customer service. HyperX, whatever you play, however you play, HyperX knows we're all gamers. Use promo code LionHRT15 at hyperxgaming.com. Sim Experience, second only to the real thing. SimExperience.com. Butt Kicker, didn't talk much about them, but man, what a great company. Bring more realism and immersion to your sessions. Use promo code LION2020 at thebuttkicker.com. To contact any of the sponsors you see on the screen, go to LionheartRacingSeries.com. How about that original music? That's thanks to Jude Lalonde. See the screen for contact info. On now are some of the companies, equipment, and software that we use to bring this broadcast to you. The Lionheart IndyCar Series returns June 17th for round 8. It's going to be the minus 273 Grand Prix at Indianapolis. That's the road course, boys and girls. GSRC and ISN will be there. We hope that you join us. If you'd like more information about GSRC, including a complete list of future broadcasts, you can go to globalsimracingchannel.com. Don't forget about our live timing and scoring at GSRC.tv. We're also on Facebook at Global Sim Racing Channel, Twitter at GSR Channel, and Instagram at GSRC_Graham. Hey, and if you haven't become a YouTube subscriber already, head over to our YouTube page and hit that subscribe button. Looking for something great? Well, why don't you go shop at our merchandise store? That is gsrc.storeenvy.com. Finally, on behalf of the entire crew, Richie, Sean, and Dougie, I'd like to thank all of you for watching as Connor Harrington picks up his second win of the season here in the Global Electronics Technology 200 at Motegi. With that said, we're off to have fun storming the castle zone. Until next time, race clean, race hard, and see you on the track.